Today's Namaste Yoga is on unleashing your creativity, another class in the Lakshmi series. Hello and welcome to episode 167 of Namaste Yoga. It's a beautiful snow-covered day here in southwestern Ontario, so we thought we'd do our little introduction outside today. Wanted to let you know that we're opening up spots for our next continuing education course for teachers. I'm doing interviews for that next one. I know a lot of teachers watch Namaste Yoga and take inspiration from these teachings into their classroom. So if you would like to study with me and do a 10-week intensive continuing education course to deepen your yoga teaching, I'm opening my Open Your Heart to Yoga Pedagogy course again in May of 2013. This course is limited to 8 people and there are only 5 spots left. So if you're interested in doing the course, you can be interviewed. You can email me for an interview at info@melissawest.com. And details for the course are at melissawest.com under the teacher training tag, and just have a look at the video and the outline for the course there before you email me for an interview. So today's testimonial comes to us from Mark from a YouTube response to Namaste Yoga 101, and he says about yoga for beginners, he says, "Yay, I found yoga video that I can do. You have a new fan." And so we are all about real yoga for real people, and it's no use to create yoga videos that you can only watch. I love making videos that you can actually do, and so even our intermediate and advanced videos are videos that you can do. I always like to give lots of options to make them accessible, so this is great news. Thank you for leaving your comments and 5-star ratings on YouTube and iTunes, and there's instructions on how to do that at thankyoumelissa.com. And thank you to Squeeze Yoga Clothing for our clothing, which you can't see right now because I'm wearing my jacket. And also thank you to Dusky Leaf for our yoga props. Let's get started with our class. We'll go back inside. Welcome to the inside of Namaste Yoga. We're going to start our practice today seated with a mudra. It's the Usha's mudra for creativity, and it's really simple. You just interlace your fingers, and for women, your left thumb will be over your right, and for men, your right thumb will be over your left. And you'll just sit with it on your lap, and this is how you'll receive the teachings today, receive the story. And if it's comfortable for you to sit cross-legged, you can sit cross-legged. If you'd be more comfortable sitting in a chair, then sit in a chair. But choose a comfortable sitting position because you'll be sitting for a little while. The story that I have to share with you on Shashti, Goddess Shashti, which is a version of Lakshmi. It's the folk version of Santana Lakshmi, who we worked with last week. So this story is a little long, so get comfortable, settle in with this Usha's mudra right now. So allow your spine to be straight, root down through your sit bones, draw your ears back over your shoulders, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and let it fall out of your mouth. And let yourself arrive here now to receive this story. Remembering that all stories are archetypal and metaphorical, and allow us to learn something about ourselves and our own lives. So this week, as I reflected back on episode 166 of Namaste Yoga, Santana Lakshmi, and the abundance of fertility, I was looking back on the theme of creativity. And I know many of us struggle with creativity and often shut this part of ourselves down or allow others to do it for us. As adults, perhaps we feel there are more important things to be doing. However, creative expression is part of our human beingness. So here is a story about Goddess Shashti that I didn't share last week in Namaste Yoga. And I've actually adapted it from Swapna Dutta's Folk Tales of West Bengal, published by Children's Books Trust. So you know how it's always a good idea to take a story, exaggerate it, and make it your own. Well, I've done that. And I've even changed the names too, so that they're a little easier to roll off my Western tongue. So there once was an affluent businessman who lived in a huge house with a big pool in the backyard. The home was beautifully landscaped and had a 3-car garage for all his toys. They also had a freshwater lake in their backyard with tons of organic fish to catch for dinner. This wealthy businessman had 7 sons. They grew up and married beautiful women. The youngest son, however, married a woman who was quite interested in money. Some would even say she was greedy. The whole family lived together in that huge mansion. The house was quite expansive and had several servants and personal chefs to prepare. So everybody was comfortable. Every day, many beautiful foods were prepared, and although there was more than enough for everybody, the youngest daughter-in-law, Christine, would covertly take more than her share. She would steal into the kitchen when nobody was looking and drink up all the milk and eat all the sweets. She would also take the biggest and best pieces of fish. Everybody in the house noticed that a lot of the milk and the sweets and the fish went missing each day, but couldn't understand where it was all going. Was somebody stealing? Why would somebody steal in this house when there was more than enough to go around? One day, the businessman's wife called all her daughter-in-laws into the kitchen and asked them if they had any idea what was going on. The wives of the 6 elder sons said they couldn't understand what was happening. The business wife's man decided to question Christine directly since they had their suspicions. "Christine, do you know what's happening with all the milk that's gone missing?" she asked. "Yes, I do," said Christine. "It's the black cat who steals it." "Really?" answered the businessman's wife. "Oh, yes," said Christine. "I see that sneaky black cat drink all the milk, devour all the best fish, and run away every day." "Well then," said the businessman's wife, "we had best catch that black cat and give it a sound beating." And the next time that black cat came into the house, they did just that. This went on and on for some time, where Christine would steal the food and blame the goddess Shashti's cat, and then the cat would take a beating for Christine. Finally, the cat went to Goddess Shashti and complained. "Mother, I can't take it anymore. When the time is right, I'm going to teach that Christine a lesson," the cat told Goddess Shashti. "It's time for her to learn her lesson, dear cat," Goddess Shashti said, patting her sweet cat. "It's not right for her to lie and allow someone else to take the blame for her actions. Karma will teach her someday. Don't worry." A few weeks later, a beautiful boy was born to Christine. Everybody in the house was elated since this was the first boy that was born to the family. The next morning, they awoke to find the baby was missing. Christine was devastated, but they couldn't find her baby anywhere. Somebody had stolen her baby. You may have guessed already that it was the black cat who took Christine's baby boy straight to Goddess Shashti. The following year, Christine was blessed with another baby boy, and yet this baby was stolen just like the first one. Again, nobody could find out what happened. Once more, that black cat had taken the baby to goddess Shashti. Christine had 6 sons and all were stolen. When she birthed a daughter, Christine decided to stay up all night and watch over her baby. Late into the night, as she dozed out of the corner of her eye, she saw a black cat running away with her baby. She ran after the cat straight to the temple of goddess Shashti. There she found her baby girl, along with all her other children, playing happily. Christine wept at the feet of the goddess. "Mother, this despicable black cat has been stealing all my children. Now I see that you have them all. Please, I beg you, can I have them back?" "I cannot do that," said goddess Shashti. "Didn't you know that this black cat is a special pet of mine? You were stealing day after day, blaming it on my poor innocent cat and having her beaten. I can't overlook your lies and the violence you've inflicted on her. You don't deserve to have your children back." Christine begged again. "Please forgive me. I'll never do it again. I'm so sorry." "If you want forgiveness, you had better ask it of my cat. She is the one you have wronged," Ma Shasti said. Christine turned to the cat and asked forgiveness, promising never to steal or tell lies again. The cat took pity on her and forgave her. Goddess Shasti gave Christine her children back, and Christine happily returned home. This story is deeply archetypal and metaphorical. How often do we get greedy for life, trying to accumulate the things we think we need that will make us comfortable? Just like Christine in the story, we try to make ourselves comfortable by taking more than we need. Remember the yama aparigraha, non-hoarding, taking only what you need? You can go back to the Namaste Yoga episode of it. I'll link to it in the show notes. In the story, Christine takes more milk, sweets, and fish than she needs. In real life, we may work more than we can manage physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to meet our so-called material needs and end up exhausting ourselves. We then blame the black cat, our boss, or whoever the scapegoat is, our husbands, whoever, our friends, whoever it is in our life, for taking what is most important in our lives. It may be our actual time with our children. It may be our enjoyment of life and our creative dance with it. It may be the creative dreams that are alive within you. So this week in our class, we will simplify and create and connect with our creative energy. So reflect on this story and the teachings and see what they mean to you. And go ahead and form your intention now for what it is you would like to receive from this class. So while you're forming your intention, the Ushas Mudra that you're holding right now is for unleashing creativity and your pleasure centers. The Ushas Mudra brings about change. It activates your second chakra. And your second chakra is associated with sexuality and creativity. It directs the sexual energy of your second chakra upwards, and it channels it to your higher chakras. It helps to wake you up in the morning, and it gives clarity, it improves mental alertness, it enhances your pleasure impulses, and it unleashes your creative energy. All right, so once you've formed your intention, you can go ahead and rest back onto your back. We're going to begin lying on our backs today. So since we've been sitting for a bit, let's just give our bodies a chance to settle here, release to gravity. Take a deep breath in and let it fall out. Let your shoulders be heavy. Allow your pelvis to sink into the ground. Your legs be heavy. You're going to do a lot of opening of your hip area. This is your creative energy today. We'll start with a keyhole stretch. So bend your knees and cross your left leg over your right leg, your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Draw your right knee in, reach your left arm through the keyhole, hold on the back of your thigh, bend your right knee fully until you feel a stretch on the outside of your left thigh and into your left buttocks. Keep your shoulders heavy. Breathing nice, long, slow, deep breaths. So notice where in your life you might cut off creative pursuits in favor of doing more serious things that feel like they have to be done. And then switch sides. So you're going to cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh and open up your right knee, and then draw your left leg in until you feel that stretch happening, something happening on the outside of your right thigh and into your right glutes. Keep your shoulders heavy. Staying connected with your breathing. Great. And then you can release your legs, and we're going to do half recline hero's pose to open up your hips at the front of your hip here. And for this one, you're going to need a block or a folded up blanket so that you can fill the space so that you're grounded in this pose. So I'm just going to get my block. And for this one, you're going to internally rotate your left leg. And then what you want to do is fill that space. So I'll put the block there. So move your block up your leg and in as much as you need to so that you're filling the space, so that your leg isn't dangling in mid-air. And then reach your leg long away from your pelvis more than pushing it down into the ground. So with this pose, always you want to be careful with your knee joint and feeling your stretch in the belly of your quadricep muscle here, not feeling it in your knee joint. It's a hip and quad stretch, not something you should be feeling in your knee joint. So that's why you fill the space so that it's not something you're getting into your knee joint on. And then breathe long, slow, deep breaths. And then you're going to slowly come out of this pose, very slowly out. You want to move really slowly when your knee joints are involved. Move that block over a little bit to your right side so you can do this on your right side as well. So you're going to internally rotate your right leg, bring your right knee towards the ground, fill the space with the rolled up blanket or a block. Reach your right knee away from your hip joint. Feel the stretch in the belly of your muscle, not in your knee joint. Nice long, slow, deep breaths. And keep breathing and softening into this. And then what we're going to do now is stay here and put those two together. It's a lovely psoas stretch. And your psoas muscle runs from the front of your spine at the back of your body all the way down. It's actually your hip flexor muscle comes down in front. So it's a great hip stretch. Nice release for your diaphragm as well. So we're going to put the keyhole stretch, that's the action that we're going for, together with that half recline hero stretch. So this is going to go over the half recline hero stretch. Those are the two we're putting together. So this isn't something we've done before on Namaste Yoga. So first time. So half recline heroes pose first, and then we'll layer this keyhole on top of it. So on your left side, internally rotate your left leg, fill the space. It's really important that you're going to fill the space if you have any space. Okay. Then you're going to add that keyhole shape on top of it. And it's just a lovely psoas stretch here. Beautiful. And you may not have space to fill. You quite likely will be more flexible than I am. Keep grounding and rooting through the back of your pelvis. Breathing. And check in with your knee joint. Again, it shouldn't be in your knee joint. Really opening up this area of your second chakra to unleash that creative energy that resides there. So you don't feel like you have to steal it from somebody else. You have more than enough within you. Okay, and then blame a black cat for taking all your energy, because you have loads of energy right here within you. All right, so let's do this on the other side. So first you do the half recline heroes, fill your space. And then you do the keyhole stretch over top of it. It's just really, so lovely. You get into that whole psoas muscle there. And you want to, as much as you can, keep your pelvis sinking and dropping into the ground. Okay, great. So let me know how you managed with that. So a stretch in the comments, because since that was the first time that we did that in today's class, love to hear your feedback on that, how it felt in your body and how you managed with it. Okay, so release that from your body. Let's maybe do just a little bridge pose there to press up as a counter pose. And then I'm just going to double check my notes, but I think that's all we're going to do here. Recline, you can stay in bridge pose for a minute while I check my notes. Yeah. Okay, let's come on over, roll to your side, and come up onto all fours for cat pose. Okay, so on all fours, your hands will be underneath your shoulders, your knees will be underneath your hips, and we'll just exhale and round up through your back, and then inhale and arch through your back. And as you do cat pose today, you can reflect on, and this is, tricky. In the teacher's course, we've been doing a lot of shadow work. You can reflect on who it is you blame in your life for your shortcomings, or for not having enough energy, or for stealing your creative energy. So who's the black cat in your life? It's interesting in this story that the cat is black too. So we often shift our blame onto other people. And in reality, the fingers are usually pointing back towards ourselves. It's something we need to take responsibility for in our own lives. Find our own creative energy. Look for something that's missing in our own lives. So, not beat the black cat up. Okay, and then from here we're going to come into downward facing dog. So you can spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes under, inhale. And exhale, come up into downward facing dog. Stretch out the backs of your legs. Just alternate your heels to the ground. And then extend your right leg up and behind you. And open up your right hip. And once you've got your right hip open, you can bend your right knee. Look out from under your right armpit. And then from here, take your right knee forward to your right wrist. Bring your right heel to your right hip bone. Reach your left hip bone. Reach your left leg long behind you. And then fold forward over your bent right leg. Coming into forward folding pigeon to open up your right hip a little bit more even. Settling in here. Breathing. And then coming upright, bringing your hands back over your under your shoulders, and tuck your left toes under, and step back into downward facing dog. And again, just alternating your heels towards the ground, stretching out the backs of your legs, pressing your hands into the ground to reach your shoulders away. And then extend your left leg back and up and open your left hip up. And once your left hip is really open, you can bend your left knee, open your left hip. And look under your left armpit. Breathing. You could do this from all fours too, as a modified position. And then bring your left knee forward to your left wrist. Your left heel over towards your right hip bone. Reach your right leg back and long. Oh, my body is really sore today from filming for the members yesterday. I filmed a class for a Kundalini class for the Naval Center and elimination, and for the March Spring Clean Retreat. Wait till you try that one, members. You too will be sore. Breathing and releasing here. Relax your jaw space between your teeth. And then come back upright. Hands underneath your shoulders. back onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Inhale. And exhale, come to downward facing dog. Relax your head. And then lower yourself down. And I'll explain to you what we're going to do for the next pose. Okay, so for what we're going to do now, oh, space cadet moment there. What we're going to do now is unleash our creativity with wild thing pose. So we're going to, the way it works is you come into downward facing dog and then you flip over. And you have to be, the way I find it works really well is that if you land on your mat. So if you start half off your mat and come onto your mat, it works well. So come onto the right side of your mat with your left hand and your left knee on your mat, and your right hand and your right knee off your mat, and then come into downward facing dog. And then we already worked with this move today. There's a reason for that. So you take your right leg up and you open your right leg all the way up, and then you just keep doing that until you flip over and you let your right leg pivot with it, and then you open your arm up too, and that's it. That's wild thing pose. And breathe. Keep your tailbone tucked under. And then you can come back, downward facing dog. And then we can walk over and do the same thing on the left side of your mat. So I'll do it facing the other way. So this time you're okay. Okay. Your right hand and your right knee will be on your mat. I get there eventually, right and left. Oh my gosh. And then your left hand and left knee will be off the mat. Tuck your toes under, inhale. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. If you have two mats, that would be great. You could line them up. And then this is the part you take your leg up and behind, you open your hip, and then you bend your knee and you just keep going and let your right foot pivot until you come over. Lift your tailbone, lift your hips, and bring your left arm over as much as it wants to come. Wild thing pose. Then you can pivot back around to downward facing dog. Great. And then we're going to come down for a seated twist. Okay, so you're going to sit with your legs straight out in front of you. And you're going to bend your left leg and cross it over your right leg. Bring your right leg up to your left buttocks. Press down through your sit bones, lengthen up through your spine. Wrap your right arm around your left leg and turn towards it. So I chose, this is where my class gets a little cheesy. I chose half Lord of the Fishes pose. It's because in our story, Christine was stealing all the fish. And then come on back to center and you can release your legs. Take them out in front of you and shake them out. And this time you'll bend your right leg up towards you. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Bring your left leg up to your right buttocks. Sink down through both sit bones equally. Lengthen up through your spine. Wrap your left arm around your right leg. Turn towards it. Half Lord of the Fishes pose. Nice twist through your spine. Release any toxins, any negative beliefs that you're not creative. So you can release and unleash that creative energy in you. And then come back to the center, release your legs. Take your legs wide in a V shake. If you've got a blanket, you might want to lift your pelvis or a pillow. I'm actually going to get a pillow. So you can give your pelvis a little lift so you can tip your hips forward. So your pelvis can roll over your hip bones. Lengthen up through your sit bones and fold forward for Upavista Konasana. Could even do the Usha's Mudra again here. Upavista Konasana. Seated wide-legged forward fold. Keep your heels in the center here. Your knees facing up. Oh, that feels good on my hamstrings today. Okay, and then you're going to roll your pelvis over your leg bones to come sitting back up straight. And we're going to lie on your back, and we're going to finish with Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose for all of Christine's babies. So you lie on your back, bring your knees up, hold on to the outside edges of your feet, keep your shoulders relaxed, draw your knees towards your armpits. Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Really root down through the back of your pelvis. Okay, great. Okay, good. So you can go ahead and come into Shavasana with your palms turned up beside you. And tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Allow your feet to roll out, palms turned up. And just allow your body to integrate the practice. I'm going to sit up while you're in Shavasana and help you reflect back on the class and the teachings now. So as you reflect back on today's class on unleashing your creativity and the story of Goddess Shashti and her cat and Christine and her babies, what stands out? What seems most important? Where in your life do you work more than you can manage physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to meet your material needs and end up exhausting yourself? Who's the black cat in your life that you blame for taking what is most important in your life? It may be time with your children. It may be enjoyment of your life and your creative dance with it. It may be the creative dreams that are alive within you. So what stands out? What seems most important? How does this class, how do these teachings connect with your life? What's one small awareness that you're taking away from this class. One small thing that you're carrying with you off your mat and into your life this week. So gradually allow your breath to deepen, and let your deepening of breath be a way to invite movement back into your body. Let your breath expand out into your limbs, and begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and then stretch out. Bend your knees, roll to your right side, and make your way up to sitting. Thank you for joining me for episode 167 of Namaste Yoga. I will see you on the membership site this week. We're starting our spring clean yoga retreat and spring clean month tomorrow. And I will see you next week for Namaste Yoga. Namaste.